Yeah, it's hard to say from a practice. I mean, I won't overjudge that. You're getting used to your surroundings, you're getting used to drills, all that kind of stuff. I mean, he's big, he's fast, he can shoot it. I knew all those things watching tape. I enjoyed talking to him this morning. I think he's been through lots of experiences, which I think sometimes when you've been through hard experiences, it makes you better in the end, and I think he recognizes that. So it'll be good to get him in some games, and I'm not going to be very judgmental after one game or after two games. Let's watch him after a number of games.
If he's somebody who likes to shoot, he could potentially be a good fit. It looks like you have him with Nelson and Hiroshi.
Yeah, no, for sure. He likes to shoot. He's a good skater, and so both Nielsen and Hiroshi are good at setting people up. So I'm hoping that can be a real good match and make another dangerous line for us. I think Filppula, Athanasiou, and Mantha have been dangerous. It hasn't always resulted in goals yet, but they've been really dangerous. And if you can go get three real dangerous lines and then a hard forechecking line, I think you got a good makeup up front.
Well, he's playing the power play right away.
Right now, we're going to give him a chance in the power play, and I think he's got the skill set to be real good on the power play, and so he can. Again, he's a guy who's an elite shooter, and really, if you look at his numbers over the short course of his career, he's scored goals in the NHL.
He's somebody who's quite a high draft pick, but people develop at different rates. I mean, what do you think he still has a lot in him, like kind of potential-wise?
Well, we think there's the chance that he still can blossom into a really good NHL goal scorer and player. And now, I think his first year in Arizona, he had real good numbers for a young guy, and then it's dwindled since. Those can happen for numerous reasons, and certainly a lot of that's on him, and I talked about that. Like, if he, through the course of his 3 years or so in the league, hasn't learned and gotten better, then it'll probably be the same as what it's been. If he's learned and gotten better, then he puts himself in position to succeed. He's got two things here. He's got a clean slate, and he's got opportunity, and he's got to make the most of those.
What are the traits of guys who historically do learn and do have it click a few years in?
The willingness to look in the mirror and say, I have to get better, and not play the blame game that I've just been kind of screwed at every stop. You know what I mean? To be honest with you, that to me is the number one trait. Some guys, it clicks, and they look in the mirror and they say, you know what? I got to own a lot of this, and that doesn't mean that every situation was perfect or all that, but I got to own it, and I got to find a way to get better, and they have the mental toughness would be the other thing, to not let their confidence just sink, and I think if he's got that unique ability to look in the mirror and say, I got to own it, I got to be way better, and two, also have the mental toughness to keep his confidence high after going through tough stretches, then he's got a chance to be one of those guys where it really clicks. It does for some guys, and some guys it doesn't.
Sorry, Jeff. Is that the late bloomer is more of a mental adjustment than or an attitude adjustment? Because the talent's always there, right?
I don't want to say attitude, because that I think implies that somebody has a bad attitude. I'm not saying that. What happens is you come into the league and you had success a certain way, and when you have success, you don't change. Like, and I've talked about this with Mantha. He scored 80 goals in 80 games and didn't really have to skate. Why would you skate? You don't have to. Well, whatever it was, he had success coming in to make him a 12th overall pick. And then you get in the league and you're not having the same success, and it's hard to just right away say, okay, I got to change. Like most guys, it goes through some trials and tribulations, and they got to find a way to change. Dylan Larkin had to do that. I mean, Dylan Larkin's second year was a hard year. Like he didn't play many minutes. He didn't score many points because he had to change certain habits for him to develop into a way better defensive player. And to his credit, he looked in the mirror and he dug in. And I think it's really, really hard for guys when they're young. Usually when you're young, you have your back up a little bit, and you get defensive, and you can't get better if you're not willing to admit you have to get better. And I think so sometimes when you go through some situations, like for him, it happens to be a couple trades, I think then you mature as a person, and you're older, and you're willing to say, okay, I got to be part of the solution. It can't just be a blame game. And I'm not saying he's done that. I don't know Brendan. I just think that's a generality. And I think Brendan, to his credit, talking to him him today. He knows there's things he's got to, it's just basically, on a day-to-day basis, he's got to come and play as close to 100% as possible. And then, the biggest thing I've said to him is you're a great skater. There can be no glide in your game. So you can't wait for the puck to be on your stick to really skate. You got to skate away from the puck, meaning forward check, back check, all those things.